You basically have to be essentially simply just looking to your left. Yeah, that's what you have to be doing. Looking to your left. Remote Toje, what's up?
Big up yourself. So, so basically that means that the police are not getting a training via the law because if the commissioner have to constantly come out and tell them what them not supposed to give ticket for, it clearly means that them not have no training
Well,
via
I'm
the
not
law.
gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm not gonna. All right, Remote Toje. Pretty much when it comes to many professions. That is why a lot of them, you see the licensed ones, the licensed professions, those professions, you are required to, after your initial training, you have to get certified and recertified to prove so you know at least the basics of this thing. Follow me? So the thing is, as it relates to the police force, for example, once they're done training school, that's it. Separate and apart from what the commissioner does on a weekly basis or bi-weekly, monthly basis, the frequency varies, is to issue force orders, reminding on a weekly basis, assorted in an assorted manner, reminding constables, this is what you are to do. Remember the policy, remember that, remember this. You understand me? So that's how he tries to steer the force. But that is why the commissioner has several deputies, yeah, which have part of the responsibility to help him to carry out his duties. Yeah. So
So I guess we the people have to know the law then, cause them not have to know it.
and that's the thing. All right. Another thing I'll say, as I said that, as I brought up that point, I know as a matter of law that a right can be waived. Yes? Meaning simply that if you don't protest the breach of your right and you simply do what we call acquiesce, remain silent, yeah? So you just acquiesce your right. So your right is being violated, then you just turn up and go say, you say, somebody say, give me that, you know, go say, you just do it. The man say, give me a search, you just, not give it, take it. Yeah? The thing is, if you don't protest, you can't say that a constable violated your rights. You have no ground to stand on, both legal or constitutional. Yeah? So, and they know this. A lot of them know this.
Them know it for true, man,
They
cause me can
know
tell you.
that they can. Because if you don't protest, you have no case
True.
against them.
I'm experienced that a lot. And when we say by that, if you notice how the police approach, they first of all, they don't approach properly by identifying themselves,
Right.
telling you, not waiting on you to ask them why them stopping.
Right.
Them supposed to tell you.
Right.
But when first they approach your car, why don't you window? Give me your documents. These are ways where them garner your consent without you even knowing.
I want you to repeat that for the audience. I agree with you. Repeat that.
Yes, so the way the police approach motorists, them say, wind down your window, give me your vehicle documents. That's not the two first step them supposed to take. That's how them garner your consent without you knowing.
Strategy, right?
Tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that there's a whole script that they're supposed to follow. You didn't know that?
Why would I like you pull up that? I learn, you know.
There's an entire script. Actually, there's an element of I read myself and 876 discussion last week, and I was alluding to the script. The
Did they play YouTube?
I started posting it today, so yes.
Come we never get the whole light.
I started posting it today. So by maybe tomorrow, so the whole of that last week will be on YouTube. Right. So the thing is, there's an entire script that they must follow. It's a minimum standard. And the script starts like something like this. Good afternoon, good day. My name is Constable Jermaine Dunn. I am attached to the Jerusalem station I am here with my fellow constable, remote store JA, and Pillow. We are out here today conducting vehicle safety check. And then go through, flow, explain themselves, right? I am acting under this particular section of the law. Yep. Basically outlining where their authority to act comes from. So on and so forth. And once they allude to that, then they're supposed to then they can say documents, driver's license. So it's a whole script. Follow me? You there, remote tours, Jay?
Yeah, man, I follow you.
Great. And if they do not go through that script, script, then they are not acting in the law for the execution of duty. That's a matter of law. Yeah. So it's not just group on up in a year, signal to stop. As I say, winding the window and say documents. No, that's not it. That's not how it go. Yeah, and that's how it go. So it's just strategies. And remember now, they are supposed to, because viewers, remote store J, everybody, I continue to reiterate the position that Section 20 of the Road Traffic Act, and I know why them continue to try to use the section there now, because even the commissioner said it. But anyway, Section 20 of the Road Traffic Act 2018 and Section 7, they do not convey any power at all for a constable to stop anybody or detain anybody. If you read the statute, it imposes, look at the language, I don't know, see it. What the sections do is to impose a duty on the driver. A duty on who? You hear me, remote storage here? It imposes a duty on you to do those things. It never conveyed a power to a constable to stop, If you look at it, it all of that, those sections speak to who? You. You follow me?
Yeah.
So nowhere in there does it say a constable may stop someone to check their documents or to request a license. It's a piece of law, that section of law that says that imposes a duty on the driver of a motor vehicle. And in fact, it goes even deeper than that. It says the holder of a license have that duty. So guess what? If you're not the holder of a license, you have no obligation to produce. You follow me?
Yeah, true.
So when the man them say, the section give me the power to stop, man, me say, you're idiot. Because only give me the power to stop. If you ever go down there, so sorry, me must step a while ago. If you ever go down the road there, yes? The power is only to stop. And nobody take the context. The power would only be given to stop a holder of a license. All you didn't know me as a holder. What if me tell you, when I stop me tell you I don't have no license? Me not want to that though. You follow me?
True.
Yeah? So when them come to this argument, Section 20 give me the power to stop, to request documents. Brother, sister, read the first part. He said the duty is placed on the holder of a driver's license. So you know if somebody will stop as a holder of a license? Or you are about to tell me, so them presume that you're a holder of a license. So if you presume somebody is the holder of a license, then my friend, where you stop me ask if it then for?
If you know my license, I'm not good for them on the road then.
Hey, people, when it comes to court and arguments, my opponents don't like me. Yeah?
And some happened to me one night, I'm more liberate talk about the part too.
As quick as I can, go ahead, yeah.
So realize a thing with the police them. So they must stop for guns and drugs and say them under special operation in the night, right?
Yes. Yes.
But when him stop you and him say, alright, my explain say, well, there is special operation, we are check for guns, drugs, illegals, yeah? But right after that, him ask me say, you have anything to declare?
Yes.
Me said no. I don't have nothing to declare. No illegals, no.
Right.
Me think the officer gonna say no. Me I gonna need to search your vehicle to confirm. Guess what the officer say? He want my documents. So
You're asking me the question now. The big elephant in the room question. Is that justified?
when really no my question is when really what kind of operation you do? If I do traffic stop or I do special operation I check for illegals.
I'll tell you what the law is on that, right? The officers are not so bright enough, most of them. Some of them bright, they're not bright. But you see the traffic one, them boy. Anyway.
Hey, I'm done.
Yes, you go, boss.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to what remote tours was saying.
Before I respond,
I think
all right, go ahead, no?
yeah, because it's in line with it.
Go
I
ahead.
think it's a psychological thing that they do. Because when they pull up to you, they give you a command, even though you don't really have to comply. Like they say, put down the window. Do you have any weapons? Do you have any gun? What that does now in your mind is you feel like a criminal. Because
Yes.
at no point did they tell you why they pull you over. So when them say, "Oh, so you don't mind me checking your car, you don't mind this, show me your driver's license," you're already thinking you're a criminal. So what I realize the trick is to cut them off while they're saying it.
Yeah.
Like, why did you stop me? So you don't answer the question because you throw him off now. Now he's scripted. What I realize when I do that, they get confused.
Remember now, and by the way, remote tours, the Yuga boss. You have
Yeah,
a constitutional right to know the reason why you're detained, and there's no law
yeah.
that says otherwise.
Most of the time they can't answer it. And they start saying you're disrespecting them
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I just recently posted something on my page, and for some strange reason, it get over 20,000 views in 24 hours. They pulled me over on Lady Musgrave Road. So I
Yeah.
didn't use my turn signal.
I saw the
So
video. I think I like one.
you saw the video. Okay, and I didn't post all it either. I post some of it because my car is full of cameras. So I don't do the phone thing.
Right.
Like I see you doing the phone thing, I think you need to invest in some cameras
I
on
have
your
camera-
body.
I have
On
cameras.
your body.
I have
Yeah.
cameras in the car.
Yeah,
What?
so
What you mean?
yeah,
Like
body.
you have a little camera then where like pin by your shirt?
Yeah, me have them there too. Me have all kind of, I'm full of camera, man. So sometimes I drive with my headband camera. I go through checkpoint. When them see that, them stop me. When them see with the headband camera, them just say go on. So they do like cameras. So when he pulled me over, it seems like he wasn't the one that witnessed the offense.
Right.
Because he was saying if you watch the video, you could hear the turn signal clicking.
Yeah, man, I hear the click.
So I was saying to him, they didn't turn around to me after was disputing it and say, him and another one will see it anyway. Because I said to him, you sure say you see it?
Right.
And him said, no, man, and then me see it. And so I said, call the man who see it.
Right.
He said, all right, you want to talk to him? I'm going to say, all right, yeah, call him.
Right.
So the man at the nervous said, all right, pass your documents in the meantime. I'm
I
going to say, no, it don't work. I'm going to say, it don't work that way there. You know what I mean?
I mean, is that
Yeah, pass the document, yeah. So, I guess you guys didn't hear all the videos, because when the second one come, him get frustrated, he can't hear another video. I can't bother deal with him, he call the next man. So when the third one come now, and him realize that the road was blocked off, so a lot of people are being forced to turn right.
Right.
So a lot of people is not going to use turn signal because the road's being blocked.
Right.
They're blocking the road. So him say, oh, I just realize it now. So alright, I see it, I just see it now, I never see it before.
Yeah.
So here him now, no, pass your documents anyway. Let me check your documents. But I said, you just tell me a while ago so I didn't commit the offense, so why should I give my documents? Here's his response now. Oh, you're playing YouTube in the car and your phone is within view of your eyes. I'm like, oh my goodness. I say, you know what? Let me just give you say you want, because I want to catch him on record,
Yeah.
I want to catch him on record, see him doing a document check.
Right.
So him say, oh, you just want to check the documents. Him say, yeah. Him check it now and him give it back to me. So hear him to me now. I told me at the time, I never want no warrant now, and I'm going to say a warrant, I'm going to lock you up.
Yes.
Luckily, no, there was a warrant, because remember I'm telling about the letter thing.
Yes.
The him say, I wouldn't want you to do that. You hear him now? Oh, like him regret not running it. You understand? Because I done give him by the papers already.
Right.
I'm just showing you guys as an example, and he made a remark at the end. say I must be respectful when I'm talking to officers. He wasn't even there when I was talking to the other two guys. And if I didn't speak up, like what you said earlier, I would have gotten that ticket.
Right.
If I would have handed my license and take the ticket, shut up and comply,
Yes.
I would have gotten that ticket and said, go to court.
Yes.
But I'm like, no, I had a turn signal. You just never see it. And the road blocked.
And one more thing me I gonna say, the police never ask if a document just to check at Jamaica. It's always for a ticket, we can't tell you.
Yeah, it's a motive.
Always,
Yeah.
well. Right, so let me respond in general now to the principle now.
Mm-hmm.
So one, yes, it's a tactic. So we start there. But there is a provision there is a general principle in law that which speaks to that the power can only be used for the purpose of which the power is conveyed. So when the police is using a road traffic act given I'm gonna use the word given power, the power has to be to enforce the act or for the administration of the act. Yeah, it can't be for any other reason. Now some people know who don't know law, they say which one I law for that. Like, but this is a principle of statutory of interpretation of statute. Yes, where if you're going to use it a law, you have to use it for the enforcement of the act itself or for the administration of the act. So though the law, it's the act itself, may not say that you can only use it for that purpose, any court you're going at, yeah, present that argument, you will prevail. So now, so when we understand that the power can only be used for the purpose for which the power is conveyed and is restricted to the administration and enforcement of that specific act and no other, then what it means is that if the constable started his traffic if the constable started his traffic stop and asking you about guns, drugs, or if you have anything to declare, myself with my legal mind and understanding knows that at that very minute him better have reasonable grounds, yeah, for the stop before he can go anywhere. Because if without that, it comes right back down to Eman's verse, the Attorney General. Without that, nothing else after that is justified.
I'm done.
Yes.
So, if you answer the question, do you void that right now by you answering those questions?
If you have
make a reference to? Yeah.
If you void your right?
Yeah, like if he asked me that question without telling me the reason, and I know answer that question, I said, no, I don't have anything illegal.
No man, what? All right. Basically, if you look how you deal with police interaction is basically ask them all the time. You said it. The number one question: what is the reason for your action? Keep it there. What is the reason? Remember, the constable is duty bound. Before that, once you are detained, the constable is constitutionally bound to provide the reason for your detention in a reasonable time. Follow me? So once you ask the question, officer, what is the reason for my detention? Him better tell you. And you carry keep on your video. Yeah? And if you try to dodge around it, that is evidence that he had no reason. You follow me?
Yeah, with you. Because we're used to it, you know. We used to it.
Right. So if he dodge around it, if him go around the question and I come back and documents, violation of constitutional rights. Now if you even check my documents and find one offense, send check the documents and the license expire, I never know. The amount of money me can get for the constitutional right breach, it could be 20 times or more.
But Don, I heard rumors and I've seen situations where they said when the police go to court, he would say, I asked him a question he could have declined.
Who says so?
Like, if they pulls you over, he said, can I see your driver's license and documents? If you put up no resistance and you hand it over to him, they're saying that you have given up your rights.
Yeah, man, you waive your rights.
So you can't even turn around later and sue them?
No. All right,
so, by putting up resistance.
Check my YouTube page. I posted some information on it's a while back now, but
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of on the community section, and there is some, and it's just, you see, the law is not just in Hugo Boss and remote tours. Yeah, the law is
I'm
not
familiar with
just
it.
confined to any one piece of document, right? And so this is a case law principle where the constitutional court say, listen, for me to assess or determine whether or not you have a case here, one of the things that the court must check is whether or not you would have waived your rights.
Which happen a lot of times. We do, and we don't realize it.
And so when you hear the police like to tell people, complain later, I say, that help them. Not you.
The complaint help you in the long run because you put up resistance.
That is correct. No resistance, you go what? Constitutional court, go do what?
You
You
waste
guys
the
court,
time.
go do what? Go waste the time.
Yeah,
Because
you
if
give up your
I were
right.
the one you were suing, I say, my defense, one part of my defense would be, he did not complain. He acquiesced. He remained silent.
And he
I did
provided
all
the
of this to
documents.
him. Yeah?
And I think one of the things that a lot of people think they think, I'm not saying police is not your friend when it comes to crime and stuff like that.
Yes.
But when a police pulls you over, there's no policy against them lying. I think a lot of people don't know that. There's no rule against a police lying.
All right.
So he can lie.
Can I address that briefly?
Yeah, that's the part I want. Yeah.
All right. I agree with you that there is a principle in the 1970 court case in the Privy Council that says detection by deception is a strategy the police use.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have seen current policy of the forest that said that none of that's supposed to lie. So guess what? Unfortunately, I think it is the ethics and integrity policy that says they are not to lie. They are not to lie.
Okay. 'Cause I know they use deception and interrogation and stuff like that. And when they pull you over, they.
Say again?
I know I've seen cases where police use deception to get you to do things that you don't want to say or say things,
man,
even by pulling us over.
To get a confession.
Yeah, even by quoting a law that's not a law. They do it all the time.
All the time. But again, it comes down to if it's disciplinary action that you're seeking to be taken against the officer, the commissioner might say, well, you're not supposed to lie, but they understand how the detection by deception work. But then someone go argue no. That I would argue. The force policies are by matter of orders and our law governing the force. And therefore, if the officer breach, then so be that. But here are the arguments in the court now that I'm drawing. It goes down to admissibility of evidence rules. Admissibility of evidence. That the officer should not have lied. And even that very 1970 case I quoted, the court had said, listen, the officer breached your constitutional rights, violate the law, blah, 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 go seek compensation. That's what the court said. Yes? I think it's R versus Sang. That was the case. So the court said, go seek, and this is still the law today, yeah? The court said, go seek compensation for the violation of your rights.
So, but there's no law against it, though, right?
Huh?
There's no law against them lying.
I'm saying there is the force. Yes, there is there's force order that says they're not to lie.
Okay.
So the court said, listen, but though they lie, the court is saying, if you go read R versus Sang, the court is saying the officer violated the law, whatever the policies, blah blah. You are to go file a complaint, and there are internal disciplinary measures that can be taken against him or her.
Internal measures.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, when you sue, it will help to prove that your constitutional rights were violated.
Okay.
Because a breach of policy is a breach of the protections against the abuse of your rights.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Follow me?
I see what you're saying.
So essentially, though the constable lied, him lie if you get the confession, that is going to be admissible against you based on our current case law.
If you can prove that he lied.
No man, all of him not lie, Well, if you can prove them lie, right. In that respect. But yeah, so whether or not they're lying is against the force rules. But lies used at times to detect by deception.
All right, let me show you an example. I had 2 cases dismissed today because I plead not guilty to most of my traffic cases. Because again, when a police tickets you, it doesn't mean you're guilty, and I think a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
A policeman taught me this trick. He said, whenever you get pulled over and you know you get a ticket, shut your mouth. You understand? Because in the comment field, they write your admission of guilt. Say you never mean to do that because, so you're automatically guilty when anybody read it.
Right.
I told you about the yellow curb situation because a policeman explained it to me saying one of the biggest fake ticket that we, because I showed you at the bar in my event. He said one of the biggest fake tickets we give everybody is a yellow curb ticket.
Right.
Remember I spoke to you about this a while back?
Yeah, man.
I went to trial for it in
Yes.
a month ago.
Yes.
And it was dismissed.
Right.
When I went to trial, the court withdrew their case saying that the ticket is invalid because there is no posted no parking sign in front of Starbucks.
Right.
So he said there has to be a no parking sign for that ticket to be valid. And they gave me a ticket that disobey a legal command because I wouldn't give them my license.
Yeah, but
they threw that out as well.
But that ticket not valid then.
Yeah, so they dismissed both the tickets.
Section 91.
Yeah, and the police wrote, of course, I think what's difficult for the court process done that you're having a challenge with is that when you go to the Kingston traffic court, Spanish zone is the worst. You sit outside all day,
Right.
right, to enter a plea. So imagine you go there at court 10 o'clock, like them tell you, and you leave 3 o'clock,
Right.
just to say not guilty.
Yes.
A lot of times when I'm in the court, I see people come in and say, Your Honor, guilty with explanation, guilty, coming and want to come back again.
Yeah.
All of them the outside say, I'm going to plead not guilty.
Yeah.
The minute they goes in, they run in the sun, and there's no chair out there no more.
Right.
They've stopped giving chair now, so it's a torture.
As I said that, I want to speak to that, because when we go traffic court, I said, me and the judge have a conversation. I said to the judge, say, based on everything what happened, I don't feel like I get justice right or so. So the judge said, this is what the judge said to me. The judge said to me, say, oh, if you say you not get justice when we have a 95% success rate, meaning what the judge has said to me now, based upon people going to traffic court pleading guilty even when they know say the police lie or whatever, it gives them a reason to pat the police on the shoulder and say good job.
No, it's giving them a fake statistics now, and they're using that statistics against us.
Right.
What I was saying to Don is that by the time people enter the courtroom after waiting for 6 hours
Yes.
to enter a plea, you automatically say you're guilty because you don't want to come back for another court hearing.
But add this to that.
But I'm saying that's working against the people. Because
we know.
I don't think people understand that they can get compensation for every day that they're there.
I need to do that. Because I win a lot of cases, I need to collect my compensation.
No, man, you ought to ask for compensation at the end of the case. The problem is this. Our judges are not used to people asking for it, so you better be prepared to make submissions. You better be prepared with the section of the law that allows you to ask for compensation.
Thanks for that. I didn't know. Thanks for that.
So I think it's just the Peace Jurisdiction Act, section 17, allows you to request compensation. And also,
Don't mind worse. I hired a lawyer for my traffic offenses.
Good.
The good thing about the lawyer is that it costs a little bit of money because it's $15,000 every appearance.
Yes.
But the thing is, I don't wait. I go in first. So if the court starts 10 o'clock, I go in 10:05 and walk out 10:05.
Right.
What I'm seeing they're doing at Kingston now done, and I think it's illegal because the lawyer told me it's illegal. Mm-hmm. They're putting a guilty box and a not guilty box at the front. So I took a picture of it. I took a picture of it. So what happens is that the guilty people, them and the not guilty, they prioritize the guilty one them first.
Yes.
So them call the guilty people them because them enter them plea guilty in the guilty box.
Right.
So I heard the lawyer told me that's not legal because your thing is confidential.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So
yeah, man. But everything comes down to the remedy though, Hugo Boss. The remedy. Because like we said, the police, as a matter of the force orders, they're not to lie. But them can lie, and if them get the confession, it can be used against you based on our current laws, right?
Yeah.
So, but then what you do now? Why your remedy? Your remedy is a suit, a civil claim for breach of constitutional rights. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you choose not to seek your remedy, remember him take fee action, you know. So you need to take back yours. I mean, you decide if you want to take back yours. But I think if more people do start filing claims, things will get in a line. Yes, I'm going to quote the section of the law that speaks to the specific case law that speaks to the not waiving your rights, for people to understand how important it is to actually protest respectfully, to assert your rights respectfully. Do not, you have to get loud. I mean, if them get loud, they can get loud too. But I would recommend you don't. But be respectful. The case is the case of Banton and others v. Alcom Minerals of Jamaica Incorporated and others. It says in paragraph 4 down there, it says paragraph 4 subsection 3. So it says, before an aggrieved person is likely to succeed with his claim before the Constitutional Court, he should be able to show, hear them out, I will read the one that's important for this conversation, that his complaint is substantial and adequate and has not been waived or otherwise weakened by consent, compromise, or lapse of time. Was I heard?
Lapse of time.
Yes. So you can't, so it's just acquiesce, a lapse of time, acquiesce, remaining silent for too long and not, it is deemed that you would have accepted that you're wrong. It's just another principle of law. Some people might, in the comment section otherwise, might be like, Lord, I must have so much law today. Yeah. There's a law called presumption of legal. There's a principle in law called presumption of legality. Meaning that all public bodies, all state agencies, public bodies, they are presumed to act lawfully unless you complain. Was I heard?
Yeah, but done, may I tell you, the way our court system is done, like, we understand said there's a process and due process for these things, but when you go to court, it demotivates me. I'm being honest. I had a lawyer and it was demotivating. Watching the police them walk inside of the AC room while I sit outside on a rock, not even a chair, and them inside a cozy for the clerks of court. It's not like America where there's a separate police system, as in sheriff and marshals. I think Jamaica needs to steer away from the police getting that much access to the judge and make it more a separate body. You can understand what I mean?
Put it this way.
Prejudice.
You do understand, Yuga Boss. I will say to my audience, I say to everybody at all times, this is a game, okay? This is a game, and if you're approaching it as anything more than a game, you have already lost, okay?
Yeah, that is true.
It's a game, and you are one of the players. All of us are players in the game, and may the best player win the game. You cannot, the system is designed for you to want to comply. You are supposed to only put up a resistance. If basically by the design, you should only put up resistance if you truly know you have a case.
You can't win.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So basically the system is set up a way where if you
have a pick your battle.
Yeah.
It's done.
Because
every time I try to go
to give you an example with that. Because so I have 2 cases in front of the courts right now. And maybe I have to choose them 2 cases out of many. And I'm going to show you how I choose case now. You see case where like there's a warrant out for your arrest and you get brought in by the police. You not try to fight them cases because guess what? You already accept them privilege. And them can take that back anytime. Like what I mean by take back your bail and give you a long court date. And you're going to stay in a custody till that court date. Them have that option.
I think by you having a warrant, isn't that means you're already guilty because you never showed up to court? Isn't that automatically means you're guilty?
No.
I was just wondering.
You're not guilty until you're proven guilty. So when you're going for the judge, they're going to ask if you give a plea. So you can
they still ask for a plea. I thought it was automatic guilty because you missed the court date.
No, sir.
Okay.
No. It's just a request to. It's a subpoena basic. It's like a subpoena for you to come to court.
Okay, but they're gonna hold on to you as you said.
They're gonna arrest you because you violated the orders of the court. It's basically a contempt. It's basic. But I'll give you a little joke about the warrant now. You see, no. If you look at the law and warrants ought not to be issued unless the constable who issued the ticket is present in court on the day to then testify to the court that he had served you that warrant. Section 3(4) and 4, Justice of the Peace Jurisdiction Act. And there are other sections, there are other sections of law that speaks to it. Yes, the constable ought to be there, present, to give evidence that he has served you before a warrant is issued. Problem is, you never do that. You don't know if he did it either.
Wow. Wow.
But guess what now? And so the procedure has been violated. But here I go on now. When the clerk of court say, Your Honor, you go boss, they call up, you go boss, and then say, they call it 3 times, you go boss, no appearance. And then the clerk of court say, what bench warrant, Your Honor? There's no opposing person or counsel to say, Your Honor, Hugo Boss was the officer was not did not serve my client, and I asked that, and not even good as well. He could say, Your Honor, I demand that proof of service be rendered before this court. Nobody did if you ask that.
Wow.
But it's actually a procedure that can be levied to people's advantage. Like I said, I'm writing a book. If you look at my TikTok, I posted I'm actually creating a book. How to beat don't just pay it. Yes.
Well
challenge
done.
The tickets.
You need to make some video. But I think we need to have some videos of how a court case act in Jamaica. You notice they don't show us that part of the law, like what happens in the courtroom.
Right.
You understand?
It's going to be difficult to even get proper video in the court. You might have to find a very
Hey, Don, I'm gonna tell you something though. When you go into that traffic courthouse room, man, I'm gonna tell you it's a body system with the police, them, you know.
I know, but you know have to navigate it well. You see, the system don't want about the challenge, you know. So you have to know to navigate it and navigate it well.
Yeah,
don't go in there. 1 second. Don't let them defeat you. Don't let the system defeat you by making you feel bad and make you feel weary. Because it's by design. People like me,
that's true.
When I go to court, if I go to court for a traffic matter, I go there smiling. I go there ready. I go there prepared to spend the whole day, and I go there with my time on my clock, and I'm clocking my time while I'm at work, because somebody are gonna pay for that time there.
Hey, Don, but as I said, I think I learned the system by getting a lawyer.
Yes.
Because I guess all my cases got dismissed at trial date for some strange reason. They always continue the case until a trial date and then dismiss it, and that's the part that confuses me. That's the part where the judge goes through the law before he goes to trial.
Right. So, the judge doesn't have jurisdiction over the case until it reaches trial in the traffic matter.
I realize that.
Right.
Because with the parking ticket, the judge kind of said, I'm not going to beat the case. And the lawyer was like, why is he saying that? Because he's not supposed to say that.
Right.
You understand? But when I went to trial, a different judge, and the judge dismissed the case and said the ticket is invalid because there has to be a no parking sign.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, see there? I said, I told that to the police. She even wrote it in her statement that I said that.
Yes.
So basically, Dan, so we don't get to common law until we reach trial.
Your side of the story will never come out till you go to trial. Never.
That's correct. Never come out. And another thing to note though, video evidence. Even in my book, I will be covering video evidence and how to get video evidence admissible. As a non-attorney going, if you're a non-attorney going to court, you're a layman, you're appearing in person. Video evidence cannot be admitted into evidence just so. There are steps that have to be taken.
Yeah,
there are documents that have to be prepared ahead of time. So, like I said, it's a comprehensive guide. Yeah, that has been developed.
Just to add what you said, in the police statement that they wrote about me, they said they videotaped me. And when I said to the lawyer, yo, get that videotape, she said, trust me, it's extremely difficult.
Yes.
She said, a whole heap of paperwork of a file for get that video there what the police are talking about. So it's kind of tricky, that she said. But she can get it, but them can weasel them way out of the video.
The man have tricks and trade, but you have to also have tricks. I guess it's a game. It's a game.
As you said, it's a game.
Best player wins. The best thing to do is to have your own video.
Yeah. Their video is not a guarantee.
But you will still need to have those certain documents to back it up. Because if you can't just present a video in court and it's taken like that. Yeah? It's not just, me have a video, judge.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, that's true. And I think, as I said, Don, the reason why I think I got to learn it, because I work for myself. I'm self-employed. So I know it's difficult for a 9 to 5 person to afford a lawyer. They're not super expensive, but some of them charge per case, or some of them charge one fee. Because I
Right.
heard about this guy named Mr. Little. He's pretty good. I hear he's one of the best traffic. I don't know if you heard his name, Mr. Little. I heard he has a lot of victory. But he charges one fee. But you have some lawyers, they charge per appearance.
Right.
And as I said, I got to learn a lot more about the experience, because I realized with a lawyer, it kind of balances it out in the courtroom. The judge don't make certain. The only thing the judge did was map me, saying, "Oh, I'm getting paid. The police is getting paid. Everybody's getting paid except you."
That is what you see.
I'm like, what?
I want you to stick the pin right there. So what I heard said earlier, that is a fallacy. That's a
Yeah.
you see, anything is designed like that to discourage you. It's like them try. It appears that judges, based on what you're saying, is saying, "Come on, just plead guilty and come
He's
out."
a Kingston judge. They said he's well known. I think they say he's well known. He sides with the police.
Okay.
He's a judge at the Kingston. He bully everybody. And he also went outside and said to everyone, guys, I'm the only judge working today. So anybody who's guilty, raise your hand."
Jesus.
And people put their hands. And then I was first. They make sure no phones was visible. First, the police them come out and say, "Put away all phones. The judge is coming out." Something like that. And then the judge come out and say, "Anybody who's guilty, raise your hand." And say, "Anybody who's not guilty, eh?" Now, hold on, let me finish. He said, "Anybody who's not guilty, raise your hand." He said, "All right, you're gonna be here for a while, and I'm the only judge working today, so I have to do everybody out here. So I'm gonna take the guilty people first, and you can go home." Just pay. The man said just like that, you know. Everybody's looking like they're shocked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah, so that's to show you the state of Jamaica now. Like people don't have no idea.
Yo, remote tours. They have a
Them
sign at
basic
Kingston.
rights.
Hold on. Let me show you how serious Kingston is. They have a sign outside now. When you go there, look, it says guilty and not guilty box. You don't have to talk to it. Just put it in the box. I'm gonna take up the guilty box and carry it inside so you can go home. Let them say that so you can go home quickly.
All about
$100. Oh, and done. All the chair them mash up all of a sudden. There's no chair there.
But me go there now. Watch this now. You see how me go there and see that the box say, me I put my thing in a guilty box and when I go up there not guilty.
Oh yeah, you can't do that though. You can't do that still.
You can't do that. But
You're not gonna
I'm assuming you'll be getting screamed at.
Yeah, y'all get they might disrespect you. You can't talk back to the judge in the courtroom. The judge is got enough. Oh, when the judge talk, they treat the judge like God. Man, I tell you.
Alright, you see, when me go traffic court, everybody they know me by face and name.
Yeah. Oh, enough to get out there, man.
Last they put my case for every time.
Hey, you come to the warrant bus sometime, because every time I see the warrant bus coming in, nobody know what the warrant bus go before them, you know. When the IS come in, nobody know what the IS coming before the front of them, because you know you're not go home, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
but Don, tell you something. Do not.
They remind me 3 times up there, because the judge.
Do not go to Spanish Town Traffic Court.
Who me?
You will. Yeah, Spanish Town Traffic Court. The last files, them not ramping up. Them last files, every minute is a bomb threat. Hey, the most continuance in the courthouse there.
It's a mind game them play, man.
I'm gonna tell you something with the lawyer. I got 2 lawyers, and I said I can't work with I don't do Spanish Town cases. They tell me straight. They don't like Spanish Town.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of lawyers, they don't do Spanish Town cases.
Okay.
Because the courthouse is they lost my file and reconstructed it. I don't know how they did it, but I had to go back in 6 months later and enter my plea over again, even with a lawyer. I said, Yarno, why am I entering and not guilty again? I did that 6 months ago.
No, man,
this is your last time.
So Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
As you can see, there are a lot of these systems that you're talking about. It seems to be, it just go to the design again. The various designs to make sure that people just don't challenge. Notwithstanding.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's me, I will be going there every day.
Yeah, that's what I did. I went there every day. Okay? Man.
So that system would not frustrate me. I will just be using it as a guide. And I will
that's true.
Drink some juice, relax, chill.
But don't you have to remember, the average persons can't get that much time off from work. Especially when you go to court and they give you a continuance.
Okay.
The average Joe is not going to be able to, a call center person can't go to court 2 times because they continue a case that 1 month. then to go back again just to get a police statement. I remember, I don't even think I think what they do in America, and I think Jamaica needs to do that too. Traffic courts are virtual cases. You do them on Zoom.
Right.
You only come on this trial.
Right.
I think that's what America switch over to for the crowd, for
Right.
crowd control. So what they should do is to do a virtual session for the not guilty pleas.
Right.
But there's no reason to come in.
Right.
To be honest.
And you go pay. And you
the
go
next
to
one.
the court office and pay.
Exactly. And the next one that you go to is just a police statement that comes in. Why do I need to be there for the police to come to the courtroom and hand over a statement to the clerk's of court, and the clerk's of court hand it to me and I walk out?
Yes.
And that's the second one. And then usually the trial date is a year later. Because I have a traffic case for talking on the phone.
Yes.
From last year I got a ticket. You know when my trial is? Next year, June.
It's a long time.
So 2 years. 2 years to go to trial for talking on the phone.
That's a long time.
Hopefully the police might go into foreign by then, because you know a lot of them is migrating.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so
I tell you something that's about strategy now. But again, you don't have the know-how, etc. When you have these cases, if you want these cases to move along quickly, if it's in the parish court and it's stuck in there, let's say it's a traffic matter, file a claim for any violation of our breach against you know, constitutional right breach, etc. File a claim in the Supreme Court.
Even if you have a trial date set already?
Yes, man. It's
oh wow.
It's not malicious prosecution.
So why my lawyer don't do that then? Although they're saying that the time works in my favor. That's what they're saying.
The time works in your favor depending on where you are. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want the matter to move fast. Yeah?
But fine with it still. But never pay the ticket for the next 2 years, so that's fine.
And don't get me wrong, the Supreme Court is booked. That I'm saying strategy now. It's a power play. I said it's a game. So that the best player win. The parish court is there. The Supreme Court, it take a long time for cases to move through, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yes? So
except for Andrew case.
Oh Jesus. No man.
Yeah, basket is here.
No man, there are ways to get, there are procedures to get your matter moved fast in the Supreme Court. Number of lawyers are familiar with it, you know. If we use an affidavit of urgency is used to petition the registry to give you a quick date. Yeah. I've used it about twice so far. But your case has to be urgent. And you'll get a quick date, like about 2 months on the line or so. Right? So the thing is, if you would want your parish court matter to speed up, you just put some more fire under the state, the crown's tail. It's a game. File a constitutional claim simultaneously, and you will get more fire. I promise you'll get more action.
Alright.
I promise you'll get it moving faster.
Done. The only way we can beat the system, you see, if everyone that gets a ticket said not guilty, the system is crashed.
Crashed. And the judge
everybody
and the judge
not guilty.
The judges will start now to actually focus on the law and applying it fully. And not just accepting guilty pleas and dishing out sanctions.
That's why I've always wondered why that's the only way the taxi can beat the system. They get the most tickets. All they have to tell them is that every taxi man plead not guilty. That's it. Every police has to come to court and every police has to write a statement.
But you go boss.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am not going to be on this platform encouraging people to plead not guilty when they are indeed guilty.
Oh yeah, that's true. We understand. But you're innocent to proven guilty.
I'm not.
But you're innocent to proven guilty.
Anyone to plead not guilty when you are guilty. However, I understand what you are saying.
Mr. Dunn, let me tell you what happens when you go to trial in 2 years. When I go to trial 2 years for talking on the phone ticket. When I go to trial 2 years from now, the ticket price is still the same.
Yeah, man.
I pay no extra with a lawyer next to me.
No, you're not paying.
It's the same fee. You know who loses? The state. Because that police has to come to court, has to write a statement. I did nothing. I'll know my side of the story in a couple.
Can I give you a joke?
Yeah.
You know that the constable should only get paid for that day. There's a provision in the Consular Force Act. If the judge gives an order permitting him to get paid for every day of going to court.
That's why they don't come all the time.
There is a requirement for an order of the court to permit them to be paid when they go to court. So
maybe they might get paid. Some of them not get paid then.
They choose better not to show up because the Consular Force Act does require an order of the court for them to be paid for court appearance.
Oh, okay.
And if they are getting paid while they are going to court without that order, I will tell you that is an unlawful disbursement of government funds.
Wow. So that could be one of the reasons why a lot of them don't show up to court.
until it is absolutely necessary.
Hey, I tell you one thing the way they done, what I discovered enough. Out of all the times, the only ones
Yeah.
that show up to court is the female police them. The man police them not come. The
Now come
female
on.
them look at them thorough though, them determined.